On today's episode, if this car still doesn't have an engine, we're going to install some gauges. So this is just a oil temp, oil pressure and water temp gauge.
So yeah, Kylie's going to basically take over this video mainly. So you'll see a lot of first person view and all that there stuff.
Because he's feeling lazy today.
Because I'm being
He
lazy.
can't be fucked.
Yeah, so yeah.
So in this case, what I've done is I bought a 3 gauge pod thing. You can get them for the pillar, the A pillar. I don't like them in PG view. This came with like a back on it. It's intended to be put on the dash in this orientation, but I sit low in this car and it also impeded my view, so I didn't like that. So all I've done is I've bent up 2 little aluminium brackets and I pop riveted them on here. And this is going to screw up to the bottom of my center console. So I'm going to take a camera in the car. I'm going to show you how this works. Yeah, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, boy.
So this is how the gauges look in the car. I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. Simple, effective, does the job. I've got a switch panel here which goes underneath there, but I've got it out just so I can work out some of this wiring. So next thing to do is to get on this wiring. Now that may look quite intimidating to somebody who's not used to this kind of thing, but I can assure you this is super simple stuff. While I'm doing this wiring stuff, I'm also painting a lot more random shit for the GS. So some's going sparkly gold, the pedals are just getting a refresh. I'm going to paint them black, put a heavy duty polyurethane lacquer on them, and then I think I'm going to get some skateboard grip tape and I'm going to grip the front of them. So yeah, always multitasking. This is what we ended up with. So as I described previously, what I've done is I've gripped up several of the wires. So this one, for example, is all the red wires, which is live, and all of the orange wires, which makes the gauges have a green face as opposed to a white one. As for the white wires, I think it was, they're here. They're all taped together, twisted up, similar like this, and then I've just insulated over the top. That gives me the option to give this a 12 volt power in the future, and that will turn the gauges white. Here is my 3 signal wires. Like I said, I've got each one labeled, so that is water temp, oil pressure and oil temp. So they go into a 4-pin connector. You can see just 3 of the pins are used. And then I'm going to stick another connector on here, and that'll be the harness that goes to the engine bay, which is very, very simple. Here I've got all my grounds, so I don't have any ring terminals. This is why everything's taped up, or this is why everything's twisted up right now. So if I'm desperate to get them in tonight, I'm just going to make a little ring terminal here and fire it in. Sounds janky, but to be honest, there's parts of this car that have this exact same method used and I've never had a problem with it. So that's a possibility. This, I have found the 12 volt live. I have found a cigarette lighter that I'm using. I've powered something else off behind the dash, so that's going to go to this. So I've got 2 little kits in there. One is for the exterior lights, which are neons into the car, and one is for the interior lights, which is going to be fitwell lights and we like back air. So anyway, where were we at? Okay, so this, I'm going to fall over. This is the 12 volt power that I'm going to take for the gauges. It was taped into this. So this is a cable that runs to a sat nav, which I have all the time for reasons that we should get into in another day. Absolutely top tip, stop wrapping your wiring in insulating tape or black tape. It's shite. It leaves a nasty residue and a mess. It doesn't look that clean. This is called Tessa tape, right? I'm pretty sure that's the brand, but I'm pretty sure that's the brand that made it big, like Hoover the vacuums. So yeah, it's like a fabric tape. It only really sticks to itself, but it's perfect for wrapping limbs. As you can see here, it's like a fabric tape. But yeah, that's my top tip of the fucking day. Stop using black tape, start using Tessa tape. Well, this video is going to have to continue tomorrow because Morgan has convinced me to go have a few drinks. I've had a few drinks. But as for where we're at, let's just flip this shit around. How do I flip this? Mid to go. Can I do this? I can't flip. What kind of phone can't you flip on? Okay, so I don't remember where I left this video yesterday, and I'm feeling a little bit rough today, but gauges are in. I wired all the things to all the things I showed you. You can see this is the connector for the sensor harness, which is going to go along here through a firewall way up, or through a grommet way up in there in the firewall. And then, oh my god, man, tragedy. So yeah, it's going to come through this grommet here, and then I'm probably going to run the wiring along here, down here, and on the 2J the oil filter housing is right here. And how I'm going to be running these sensors, look at my painted things. How I'm going to be running these sensors is through an oil takeoff block for the oil relocation kit, oil filter relocation kit, which is definitely in here somewhere. But I'm sure you all know what they look like. Here, I've got one over here. Oh my god, I'm having such a bad day. This thing right here. So this is an oil filter relocation kit I have. It's actually the second one I put on the car because I had a different style one on before and I didn't like it. Yeah, so that's them two. And I've also got, which I will show you maybe now, maybe later. It's like an aluminium adapter essentially that goes into your coolant pipe, and it's like a T-piece, and you can screw your coolant temperature sensor in there. Fuck, that was a struggle. So it's been an hour or two since I last talked to you and I'm feeling a bit better. All of the wiring is tied up. This right here is for interior lights and wiring for the signal wire for the fan relay up here. So the reason that's hanging like that is I don't have any spade terminals. So I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get a ring terminal while I'm at it. I'm gonna replace the shit I've got going on down there. Got interior lights around the back. Painted this here brace all gold, which I think looks very good. And just getting the seats in now, and it's going to actually start looking like a car on the inside again pretty soon, which I'm pretty buzzing about because it has been a long while. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these working, which I realise makes a really shit video. I've only just realised this now, but none of the wiring them is in the engine bay. I briefly touched them against the battery without the signal wires just to see if they'd light up and do their thing, and they do. They light up and calibrate. Again, probably should have caught that on camera. Very, very sorry about all this, but yeah, we're not that good at YouTube yet. Morgan's just landed home. Out in the high vis, boy. So it is the last day in the garage. I've got a flight in like a couple hours. Gonna watch the Grand Prix with my fam. But this is where we've got to. So the engine bay is about as far as I can go without an engine. Hi, can you shut up 2 seconds? This is about as far as I can go without an engine. Pretty pleased with how it turned out, to be fair. And I've got the inside looking like a car again. So apart from a couple of wires I need to terminate here because I don't have the right connectors, we're in. I need to bleed the front brakes because I had the brake lines out to paint the engine bay. I think I'm going to do a flush of all the brake fluid, but yeah, I've got the pedals out because I've just painted them and I'm going to grip them up with some skateboard grip tape. But we need some good progress this time around. Just need an engine now and we'll be back on track, literally. So my trip here is done. I'm literally going to go hop in the shower and get on a flight. The GS is all wrapped up. Usually when I come home the list gets longer instead of shorter, but we actually knocked some shit off. The list. It's actually gone pretty well, and now all we need is an engine and we'll be laughing. By the way, top tip, single bed fitted sheet, perfect wine cover.